paradigm shifts. I talked about my waist beat story, but I was meditating with Chandra, the moon, doing some moon meditations for the first time and everything. And of course, when it's your first time doing a meditation, there's a lot of things going through your mind. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't talk really about like the men and the waist beads. And this is dedicated to younger women. This is dedicated to maybe inexperienced women, but this is also dedicated to the what do you call it? The experienced soul, experienced women. Okay, and yeah, like go ahead and put your experience down below. But there's just some things I want to talk about when it comes to wearing your waist beads and men, right? I feel, and maybe this doesn't work for every woman, but something that I noticed on my journey is that you can tell if a man is right for you by how he treats your waist beads. And like, I've had exes that they'll ignore the waist beads. They won't like use the waist beads, right? That's fine. There are men that will just completely disrespect your waist beads. And I think it's how you introduce the waist beads. So, say you don't have to be on a celibacy journey, okay? You don't have to be on anything like that. But say you want to practice every time you're with a man, right? You wear the waist beads, right? But if you break up with that man or you move on to another man in your dating process, you change the waist beads, right? So I was doing that practice. I don't know what you would call that type of practice, right? But anytime that I broke up with someone or I moved on to a new partner, I would change my waist beads. So the new partner, the new man doesn't see your old waist beads. You see what I'm saying? He's gonna get a new set of waist beads. I'm getting a fresh pair. I'm in a fresh new energy. I'll probably do some like cleansing or whatever, and we're gonna move forward from there, right? Um, what I noticed is that when I think about my exes, right? And I don't have a lot, but when I think about my exes and I think about the energy with the waist beads in my exes and how some didn't like, they didn't, that like I could just tell when I look back, there was things I didn't understand when I first started dating because I didn't have the experience, even though I was, different cultures don't understand that there's certain backgrounds that focus more on like academics and they don't necessarily focus on dating, and then there's certain cultures that don't understand that there are cultures that focus more on dating and getting together and less on like academics and career success. So there's always that culture clash I kind of see when I travel and stuff like that, and when women are sharing their stories, right? But one thing I noticed is that with my exes, there was sort of like a little, like a disrespect with it, right? Or I can't really say that about the last ex, but with my husband, the difference with my husband is I was making money with my husband, right? So I actually started like a waist bead business and with my husband. And then when I had my first child, I was wearing waist beads in the labor room. And when I had my first child, and she's a Taurus, the nurse was like, "Oh my gosh, your waist beads are so cute." I made a sale that day. And I just think about how much abundance and prosperity. And I've had times of loss with my husband as well. But you go through trials and tribulations in your relationship for sure, right? But when it comes to just like the waist beads and the energy surrounding the waist beads, I think about how much abundance and prosperity I've had in this relationship, in my marriage, and just how that didn't happen with my exes, right? That energy was like it was disregarded. It was seen, they saw it as something more like a chain down thing because I had a certain system where okay, once we're done, these waist beads are done too, and there's no going back. I'm not putting on the same waist beads twice. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm not going backwards, right? It's going to be a fresh new energy. So that's a way to use it, right? And then just a way to see kind of like how a man reacts to it. Now, if you're in the energy, because everybody's going to have a different energy with it. If you're in an energy where you're like, hey, like these are my waist beads, and this is only for the person like that I want to be with and that I have a special bond with. This is only for them to see. If the man isn't feeling that, then that's your answer right there. Like if he's not feeling the fact that only he's gonna like see your waist beads and only he, you know what I'm saying? It's given like that only you vibe. Obviously he's for the streets. Like let's keep it real. Like he's for the streets. If he doesn't want this special connection, which is you and your waist beads, and it's all, then obviously he not feeling he doesn't want to, and everybody doesn't want marriage, right? Like I was, hey, what's up? I'm not like gung-ho for marriage, and I'm married, for marriage and getting married and just you and this is, but I was in that energy more so when I first started dating when I was 18, right? And after I got my heart broken a couple of times, I was like, I'm not for just any and everybody, but my expectations for men after getting my heart broken a lot lower. Like I don't, and I know that sounds bad. That sounds horrible, right? But I that's how I also got married, because like when I was talking to my husband, I was just like, I don't even want a boyfriend, right? Like let's just be friends. Let's just be cool. What are you talking about? So I'm talking about how men react to your waist beats, and how that can tell you if you really want, like, if this is a relationship you really want to be in. You could see some like red flag behavior with the men and how they react to it. Mine were hidden, so that puts a different factor on it, right? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It puts a different energy on it because my waist beads were hidden, and because I decided, and I would tell men, hey, like these waist beads is only for, especially if we're sexual in any type of way, these are just like our waist beads. And once I move on, I'm shedding these waist beads, and it's going to be a new set, and I'm not coming back. I'm not turning back. I'm going to be just, that's how I kept my sexual energy very what do you call that? I don't know. I wasn't spreading it. I kept it really in house, right? And the waist beads signified me keeping it in house, because I don't want to have to change my waist beads every week because I'm with a different partner every week. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is just for people who want to, if you want to try and have more control of your sexual energy, you could try this, you could do this. Or if you just kind of want to see what certain men are about when you're dating, and just kind of test it out and see how they react. Use your intuition, right? Because everybody's experience is different. I support. Okay, okay. It's not for everybody, but it can help. And I wish when I was younger I could hear more women talk about these type of things, because I didn't know. I didn't know anything in college except for like how to study and how to and how to be in my books. I didn't understand men, or like how they think and what certain things meant, and how if they disrespect my things, if a man disrespects your things, he disrespects your property, he's got to go. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, yes, yes. Like this just, and there are men out there very, very disrespectful about like your items and what's sacred to you. They could try to destroy that because there are men out there that don't like women. Let's keep it real, and they want to destroy your confidence. I didn't know this. I didn't know that and I have a father. My father just has daughters, and it's just I have a yeah, I do have a good relationship with my father. I wish some things were different in our adult lives. I wish he taught me certain things about being an adult, but he was great as a child father, you know. He was great for when I was young, you know. And yeah, so there's just things I didn't understand about the savagery of men. You feel me? Like how savage they can be and how ruthless they can be and disrespectful that men can be, how verbally abusive and physically abusive that men can be, because I didn't have can you help me? I don't know. I don't know. I can just share my experience, right? But yeah, I just I'm very lucky to have grown up with great male figures. So when that savagery came my way, I didn't know how to deal with it, you know. And when I look back on how they treated my things, my waist beads, stuff like that, the signs were there, you know. But I'm the type where I'll sit back and I'll take notes, you know, and I'll watch for a very, very long time. And what I didn't understand is that what people will do is that they won't take a hint, they won't take a, like, their consciousness isn't telling them, yo, like, this is probably the boundary right there. They will take you sitting back as, oh, I can disrespect this person forever. I can take it to the limit, right? So when your real self finally pops out and they understand that, oh, they actually can't, and you were actually taking notes and you were actually clocking them, because I can come off very aloof and very like I'm not paying attention type thing, right? When I really am, I'm really sitting back and watching you, you know. You know what I'm saying? With my boyfriend. Oh, well, what? I gotta pick up my kids soon, but yeah, tell me, yeah, you could go ahead and share what's going on. Like this is a safe space or whatnot, so that's cool. But yeah. So, but that energy and some you will hear some spiritual teachers talk about this, how you will be able to make money with a partner, you know, and that's a sign, a green flag that you're more in alignment with a certain partner. But if you're in like constant poverty, absolutely no money coming in, no creativity coming in, right? And I think for me, um, a beautiful thing about my husband, and he's not perfect, I'm not perfect, I do not have the perfect relationship, you know. Certain like things that we have to heal, they come up all the time, and arguments come up all the time. So this is a part of relationship, and this is a part of yoga, right? That back and forth and whatever. And that's a spiritual practice too. That ebb and flow that you have with a partner, that is a spiritual practice. So when you're in those low times, it doesn't necessarily mean to give up. However, what I noticed with my husband is that he will support my creativity. Like he does not try to downplay my creativity. He does not try to like take me off my uh throne, or and if a moment comes where that does happen, he will apologize. That is so big. That was so big for me. He will apologize and he will make it right, you know, as stubborn as he can get, but he will make it right, you know. And while my exes, if like they, you know, either they wouldn't let me have a sliver of my own creativity or my own thing, or there'd just be some way that they would kind of like suck that energy out. Or when I had an idea, they might let me go through with it, but there would be so much negative energy before I could get through it. Like one of my exes, I said, oh, I want to do the princess party thing where I sing at like children's parties. He was like, that's so stupid. That's so dumb. That doesn't make any money. You need to make some money. You like, okay, I guess I'm a workhorse for you, right? Like, you don't want to actually, you know, help me out or like be a man and provide. You see me as like 50-50 all the way, you know? And I don't mind putting in my share, but it's not at the cost of my health, not at the cost of me not actually living my life and being able to enjoy my life. This was a way for me to make money, sing, be around children. My son is in the fifth house. You know what I'm saying? Children, um, even though like I wouldn't say I love being an adult, but I do have a connection with children, and you know, he was just, it was just money, 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 money with him. You feel me? And but when I was like, no, I'm gonna do it anyway, he was making money off of it. He would come to the events with his camera. And if you watch it right now, this is why we not together. He even though there's nothing wrong with this part, he would come to events with his camera and he was literally networking off of those events, off of those parties, networking off of those parties. And this is like people, people can use your creative energy and get juice from it, right? So you're saying this isn't going to make money, but here you are making clients off of these birthday parties that I'm going to, and saying that you're now an event planner and that you're a camera person and you're now making money off of the event. And this is why when I substitute teach, I tell the kids, a lot of people are going to give you advice. A lot of people are going to say, you need to do this, you need to do that, but only you really have to get in a space with you and your spirit. Only you know what's best for you, you know? So, like you asked if I could help with your boyfriend, I can only share my experience, but at the end of the day, you really have to get in with your spirit and know what's best for you. It could just be a tough spot. It could be that you guys actually do need to break up. Yeah, only you know, like that. Only you and your spirit knows what's best for you, knows what's needed truly in the situation. And yeah, I could give you some signs and I could say these were some red flags for me. These are some things that work for me. If what I say, if it resonates with you and it resonates with your spirit, then go ahead and take it. But if it doesn't really resonate with your spirit, it's not going to work for you. Yeah, bye. No, 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 bye. Bye. Have a beautiful journey. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna actually end it there too, you guys, because I have to get my kids. But yeah, men and waist beats, how they react to your waist beats. Um, uh, they're like just their logic around it, and just how they kind of move and maneuver and things like that. It can put you onto some game. It really can. So watch out for that. And yeah. And maybe even if you find like abundance coming from it, then that could be the guy for you, okay? Or the woman for you, whichever. Gender is it's not the same thing as sex. So I don't want to get too much into that. That's a different video. Gender and sex are two different things, but I know a lot of us who are straight, we put it as like the same thing, and I don't want to get into all that, even though it's Pride Month, okay? But much love, and I'll see you guys next time. I hope this gave you the paradigm shifts that you needed for your journey. I'm honored to be on this journey with you all, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.